Yo, what's up? This is Splendid Radio on Pharcyde TV with my co-host Jeremy Scipio.
What's going on, people?
You know what I'm saying? You've been out there hitting them clubs, man, smoking it up. You understand me?
Man, tell me about it, bro. This hard work. We at it again.
One of the hardest working men in comedy. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, y'all, you heard it here. I didn't say
it. And then I got my inherited homeboy. You know what I'm saying? Killa Touch, always cool dude. We both got the same little homie that we have conversations with, and it's a trip, man. So Killa Touch is, you know, he's been tour DJ for the Locks, tour DJ for Swiss Beats. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of cats, and but I've never hung out with him in that environment, you know what I'm saying? And not because, I'll say it. It was in a climate where it was like he was just rolling with some New York dudes that was just too New York, man. They wasn't pop New York and laughy, giggly New York. They was bout it in LA, on top alert in LA. And I just like, you know what, man, I'm gonna pass on this, and I'm just hang out with my homeboy in our own personal space. You know what I'm saying?
I invited him every show I was in LA. He got invited to. He ain't come to not one.
Oh man, that's Hollywood. I just said because he said that a lot.
You know, it was crazy because it was like, you know, when New York cats come to LA. I mean, even then, they would just be on alert, and it would just mentally throw me off because I'm, you know, we from LA, Jeremy, so we not thinking, but cats away from here are thinking, and I'm just like, man. But the cool thing about it is, Killa Touch, if you look at him, you know, you can't let the smooth taste fool you. You know what I'm saying? He a cool dude, he a DJ and all that, but he with what his crew is with. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know what, man, I'll sit that out. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, hopping into the double dutch. When was the first time you heard hip hop, and what was the song?
I don't remember the first time I heard hip hop, but I can tell you the first album I ever bought. First vinyl album I ever bought, Delta Funky Homo Sapien. I wish my brother George was here.
Hey,
that is so crazy, man.
And I told Del that the day I was with Booty Brown at the Gorilla Show. I told Del that, man. That was the first time I ever met him.
You know what? I get it twisted because, see, when Brown met you, your little homie was 88 Keys. That was your dude. You know what I'm saying? Producer, done all kinds of shit or whatever. But see, I never met Killa Touch with 88. So, like, Killa Touch is the homeboy. But when I think of you, I think of like Jadakiss, the Locks, and all that kind of, like, I don't think of you on the cool Dilla side of hip hop and all that kind of stuff.
My first credit on any album was Black Star.
Oh wow.
What the whole thing, or just what song?
I mean, it was like the whole thing, but I mean, I just helped out. Like I ain't really do nothing, but I was, you know, just there, you know. But that was like that was my first time ever. My name was ever on the album and the first time I ever did cuts on the album was Kweli and 88 Key song. I forgot the name of the song.
Nah. Yeah, we gonna dig into some stuff, man. And then we see, the thing is, what we do, Killa Touch, we break it down on some hip hop stuff, and then we raise it up a little bit, and then we get into what you got popping right now, which we definitely gonna hop into that.
Is it Upper Echelon?
Oh yeah.
The song?
Oh no.
Song, is it called Upper Echelon?
No, that's not it. It's no. I can't remember the name of the song. It was the title track of the album. It was Kweli and 88 did the beat. I can't remember the name of the song.
Okay. Right about now.
Right about now.
Right about now? Oh yeah. I love that one. That's like
I was cutting up like Dave Chappelle.
Oh, yo,
the thing is, I was just playing around. They didn't tell me they were recording. I was just in the studio messing around, scratching it, while he just ended up keeping the shit and putting it on the album. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I love that one, man. That's crazy. I love that tape better than like some of the albums, man. That's hard. You're the guy. That's dope.
So breaking it down, so where are you from, man? I know where you done transplanted to, but where are you from?
Brooklyn, New York City. As you could tell by my wall with the Big E and J, you know.
Hey, sorry.
Oh man. You know what I'll say? I became a huge Luke Cage fan, the Netflix,
Really?
show.
Uh-huh.
And I'll say they made Canada really look like Brooklyn and Harlem, man. They did a
That's where they shoot at. They shot at Canada?
Yeah, a lot of it they shot.
I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah, a lot of whenever you see New York, sometimes it's New York if it's around Times Square and all that kind of stuff. But Canada looks a lot like New York. On the East Coast of Canada, it looks a lot like New
York. Yeah, Toronto, basically New York.
Yeah, and I've definitely tried to. Well, no, let me spin that back. I haven't tried. I've definitely seen some people try to cross the border to go to Toronto, and they got dropped off. They got dropped off at hotels because
that's not an easy border to cross.
Yeah, that's definitely on the West Coast and the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where but you know what? I think Canada does it to mess with Americans. You know what I'm saying? But they have no lenience. No, dude, peep this, Jeremy. We had a guitar player, and he had a DUI that was 6 years old, and we were trying to cross the border, and they just started giving this dude a time. And long story short, I ended up paying like $600 to get him across. But it was like, yeah, Canada really don't.
But one time it was me, Jadakiss and Sheik. We was on a tour bus going to Canada, and Sheik got a DUI. They won't let him in. We had to leave him at the border and go do the show and then come back and get him.
No, that's what homeboy said. He had a DUI of 6 years old.
You got him in though. She couldn't get in.
The way we treat Mexicans is the way they treat us in Canada. Like, don't be trying to sneak over here and work.
Yeah, man. So you spinning for some of the, and it's crazy because like Killa Touch is like the homie. Like it's crazy because I've never really kicked it super hard with him in hip hop environments. It's more like if he's on the East Coast.
Never in hip hop.
It's more like we kick it outside of all that. But how do you think hip hop influences the world?
Man, I mean, I know you've been too, but I've been places where they don't even speak English and they don't know nothing, but they as soon as that hip hop come on, they know every word, and I'm like, yo, this shit crazy,
dude. And yeah. The thing about it that kind of pulls at my heart when it comes to hip hop is when you go somewhere and there'll be like a disabled person, and the disabled person, like me, dude, I'm never like, dude, I'll talk to anybody, kick it, just whatever. And I've talked to many different disabled people around the world, and they'll just say like how important hip hop is to them, and I just look at them and I'm like, damn, this person's in a wheelchair, or they've got a disability or something like that. And like hip hop is really like part of the blood flowing through their veins. Like that's really something that means, I don't want to say it. Nah, it definitely means more to them. The people that I've met, it's meant more to them than it means to me. And not to say that I don't love hip hop or like hip hop.
But it's crazy. Some of the places they don't even speak no English. I'm like, how the fuck you know what the fuck is going on when they couldn't even speak to me.
Yeah,
but I understand, and they know everything.
Man, it's the culture, man. They soak up that culture. It's undeniable. You know what I mean? It's now being the #1 genre of music globally. You know what I mean? We can't ignore it. You know what I mean? Like, it influences their clothes and, everything, globally.
Oh, man, for real.
Well, what's your favorite genre of music other than hip hop?
Man, if you get in the car with me, all you're going to hear is 90s R&B. That's it. And some my two favorite songs of all time is Rhythm of the Night by El DeBarge.
Oh, that's hard.
And the Luther joint. Luther Vandross joint, Never Too Much.
Never Too Much. That's funny.
Those are my two favorite records. If I'm DJing a party, you're gonna hear them shits no matter who, no matter what the crowd is, you're gonna hear them two records. I promise you.
Man.
Yeah, I'm getting married next month, and we've been going back and forth on songs, and I'm like, you gotta have that one in there.
Got to.
Oh man, I'm glad I'm hearing this, man. I think I've been thugging it too hard, man. It's no real R&B in my repertoire. We got some neo soul that I bump. You know what I'm saying? On the weekends, I listen to D'Angelo's albums. I try to listen to an album every weekend. You know what I'm saying? Some album every weekend, because I feel like people have forgotten how to listen to albums. They're just so scattered that they just get a song from here, a song from there, whatever. So I'll go back and I'll listen to. I'll take it back to old school up to about 2000 was where my tolerance of listening to an album in its entirety. You know what I'm saying? That's about right. You know, right.
The other day I put in Monica's first album, right? I'm listening to Monica's first album, and then I'm thinking, she's 13 years old when she was making that album, and some of the shit. I'm like, some of the shit she was saying, and she was 13 years old. I'm like, oh, that's crazy. Like, that shit just blew my mind. I ain't thinking about that shit till now.
Yeah. No, I was talking to somebody else and they were saying the same thing. I didn't realize that I was young at the time, but yeah, she was talking about some real grown women things.
She was 13. That's nuts.
Hey.
Yeah, there's a video with her, and my girl pointed out she had these shoes on that's like too big for her.
Yeah.
But it's because she was 13 wearing grown women clothes.
I saw that, man. Now there was actually a meme of that. They had her sitting down with them big old
with
them big old shoes.
First video, yeah, I remember.
So what's up, man? Other than DJing, what other element of hip hop do you gravitate towards?
I mean, back in the days, I used to do a little breakdancing on the block, but that was a long time ago.
You're not gonna bust a headstand for us, man?
I can't do none of that. I don't rap, I don't break dance, I just DJ. That's it.
Did you have a different name when you was breakdancing?
Nah, I was always Killa Touch.
Hey.
And the crazy shit is when I first got down with the locks, Styles and Kiss, they was like, we want you to be a rapper. We want to write an album for you. You'll be the hardest Jewish white boy ever. And I was like, I can't. I was like, y'all could write it, but I won't be able to. My delivery won't be right. Like, I can't even do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something you have to have. I was like,
I feel impelled to say this, man, and this might make Killa Touch get mad at me, but I'm gonna say something that's incredible. So, one of the most incredible things Killa Touch told me, and I'll just leave it here, but I gotta say it. I really just gotta say it. He was over the age of 30, and he's like, man, I ain't got no driver's license. and I was like, damn, this fool's all around New York, all around everywhere, all around whatever.
Well, because I had a license, but my shit got suspended. My shit got suspended so many times because I was always on tour. I could never pay the ticket, so my shit got revoked for like 10 years. Mm-hmm. So I was still driving every day.
No, I knew you was driving.
And I finally got my shit back. I'm like, the last 2 months when I was almost gonna get my shit back, I was like, now I'm not driving because I don't want nothing to happen these last 2 months.
Yeah, that's common New Yorkers, man. I hear that all the time.
Oh man, on some current event kind of trivial stuff. We did Brown did Coachella the last 2 weekends, and I was reading online that Stevie J, his wife is Faith, and I guess they kind of going through whatever they're going through, but that fool got suspended license. He straight stole the Sprinter van and bounced to Coachella. I was like, oh man.
Shout to Faith. She was just in the club with us the other night. Shout out to Faith.
Yeah, and you know what? Faith is cool people too, man. The homeboy Dame Funk had a club out here like 10 years ago, and it's called Funkmosphere, and it was probably held about 100 people, 150 people, but crowded. But it was a constant rotation. It was in Culver City, popping club. Mm-hmm. and Faith rolled through, man, and she was like, man, she was just cool. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't no, you know how you got people that's extra. She definitely was not extra, not at all, man. She made her, you know, I've been around a lot of celebrities, and I know some celebrities that it's difficult for them to treasure the moment, you know what I'm saying, and just be cool. And she definitely was one of the cool people off in the club, man. She was just doing her thing. She was talking to people.
She was in the club. She didn't even want like nobody even know she was there. Like she was just chilling. She didn't want like no shout outs and like she was talking with everybody, like acting regular.
Yeah, man.
What's your
to the DJ bullshit, but go ahead. We ain't gonna talk about
it. I don't know if you wanted to bring that up. I was gonna avoid
it. It happened.
What's your favorite hip hop movie?
See, my favorite song comes from my favorite movie, man. Rhythm of the Night, Last Dragon, man. Is that a hip hop movie? I mean, you consider that a hip hop?
We're gonna give him Last Dragon. We're gonna give him that.
Yeah, we're gonna give him that.
I mean, it's a hip hop.
I'll give you the technicality because of that Busta Rhymes video when he was showing up.
I think that's a hip hop cultural movie. I mean, trying to think. I mean, that's my favorite. That's my favorite one. I ain't even gonna lie.
And dude, to let it be told, Jeremy, do not let the smooth taste fool you when it comes to Killa Touch. I want to say one time, I don't know if we were talking about doing it or if we did it, but I took him. I think we might have went to the reggae club in Hollywood. And dude, it was a hood reggae club, and that fool Killa Touch was right at home, and I was like, I was like, man. And I went back and I told Brown, and Brown was like, you didn't know? Shit, Killa Touch, you know, he liked to be, that's his, he can be very comfortable in that environment. I was like, oh man, okay, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's like part of the job, being comfortable in those environments.
Nah, you don't have to be though, man. It could totally be the opposite direction, man.
Being on the road with the locks is one, you know, they one thing was no security, you know, so we would be in the hood, and Styles would love to, like, first time we went to LA, we was in Crenshaw, Compton, like just me and Styles walking around chilling, like, you know, gotta be used to that shit.
Yeah, nah, that's dope. So tell me this: when did you realize you had an affinity for DJing?
I started DJing in 93, my second year of high school, and shit, I just never stopped. Shit, never stopped. I never got me a real job. Never did nothing. Just DJing. I worked in a record shop. I worked in a record shop in Brooklyn. That's how I met like all the mixtape DJs. Because I worked in a record shop. They would come and drop off their mixtapes, and I would give them all the exclusives. That's how I became type of like DJ Envy and all of them.
Dude, I you know, man, last time I fanned out was probably, you know what? I won't call it fanning. Well, this is a borderline situation. I was at the Gorilla show in LA, and it was Beck and Dale, and they were just kicking it hella cool. And I was like, oh man, I gotta get this flick, man. People wouldn't even believe it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they were both on the same frequency. You know what I'm saying? And Beck was kind of like, yeah, I wasn't on the frequency they was on, and so Beck he wasn't whatever, but he was just kind of like, nah. He wasn't with a pitcher or whatever. But that was like, that was kind of like the last time that I fanned out. You know,
what year?
2023? No, 22.
Oh, that's recent.
Yeah. I've never really fanned out about nothing, and I've done.
Killa Touch me kicking it with homegirl from Angela Yee. You know what I'm saying? And that's his homegirl. I was like, okay, he knows. No, that's his homegirl. He popping up in pictures everywhere.
The craziest shit I ever seen was when I got to LA one time, and I just got from the airport. I'm driving down. I forgot what street it was, but I see all these people like gathering around this store. So I parked and we get out. It's fucking Michael Jackson.
Oh wow.
That was the craziest shit I ever seen. Like he came from the bottom of the store. I guess they put his car in. He came out. He rolled the window down. Everybody started chasing him. He's waving his hand. People going crazy. That was right before he passed too. But that was, and I still wasn't fan out. But I'm like, that's like a crazy shit. But I treat everybody like they normal. Like I don't give a fuck who you are. I done been in the room with everybody.
Yeah.
I only fan out over one person, but I try not to bring him up on this podcast too.
Well, go ahead, let it be known, Jeremy.
Well, it's Nas, but like I said, we can move on.
Nas, I done been on stage with Nas so many times.
And he's a cool dude, man. He's a cool dude. Like we Brown had hooked up with the Mixcloud people and everything, and we ended up doing the Mixcloud people did a party at Sweet Chick, his restaurant, which is across the street from Cantor's. So Cantor's is like the Jewish deli across the street. Sweet Chick is across, the other side or whatever. So we were about to leave, and I don't know how, but Nas was like, "Oh man," he walked. I want to say he walked over, and he was like, "Oh man, the God is in the house." And then he dapped Brown up and whatever. But we had been on Rock the Bells with Nas before, whatever. But for him to kind of compliment Brown, like to me and whatnot, I was kind of like, "Oh shit, man," Brown is more than the homeboy and whatever. Damn, he didn't I got jaded. You know what I'm saying?
You said you got jaded.
But
I mean, royalty. That's just royalty.
Man, for real. And
the last concert I went to was the Nas and the Wu-Tang concert. That was like the only concert I went to as to actually watch. And I actually watched the whole concert. And I never do that.
The one here in LA?
No, they had one here.
Oh, okay.
I think they're touring it.
The one here in LA, I went to the one here in LA. There was so many, like LL Cool J came out, and Method Red, and was it Mary J. Blige? That was the most guests I've ever seen on one show. I wouldn't expect that at all.
That was an incredible show.
Nah, man, Nas let me pick his mind, man. He really my thing is, if somebody, like, I don't come at it on no straight, no weirdo stuff or whatever, but like I'll ask people how they make money, like how they get, because for him to have Sweet Chick off of Fairfax, I'm like, how do you make money having a soul food restaurant, across the street from Cantor's? And he was just like, man, and he said, well, what do you drink? And I was like, at the time I was drinking 1738 because we had it on our rider. You know what I'm saying? So I was getting it free. So I was like, shit, that's, Remy 1738 is cool enough. And he said, hold on. So he had got me a shot of Remy at Hennessy XO. And so I tasted that, and he said, well, what do you like? And I was like, well, I like this. And he's like, man, you have to, everybody likes luxury, and you just have to package luxury so that people can afford luxury. You know what I'm saying? And so what I got from that was kind of like, you could go to Roscoe's, or you could go to, M&M's or a soul food restaurant, and you can get some food that tastes okay, but when you leave, you'll have like a big doggy bag or whatever. Well, you go to Sweet Chick, you're going to taste something that tastes great. Maybe some organic chicken, you know what I'm saying? Some bomb waffles. I know they had Caesar salad with maple bacon, and I eat pork. It was the thickest, most delicious smoky bacon or whatever. And the thing about it is, he basically partnered with some people where they had like this restaurant where it's gonna be expensive, but your experience is gonna be dope. The food is gonna be dope. You could have a bomb cocktail. And that really just reshaped the way that I thought about stuff, because I was like, damn, people, they have a grind on quantity, but the quality, man, you could have quality, and if it's packaged right, people gonna be on it.
Man, that's the whole Miami lifestyle, man. You go to Poppy Steak, they give you $1,000 tomahawk steak. They bring it in a suitcase and put on a whole show, and but the steak is fucking $1,000. But it's all about the presentation and the experience.
Yeah.
I definitely prefer Sweet Chick over Roscoe's, but don't at me. Don't get mad.
Nah, Sweet Chick is incredible, man. and I'm not
so long.
And I will admit that when we were leaving, they're like, oh man, we can't keep, because they had just like put out the whole spread. And man, I had like 2 big bags of doggy bags. And I'll say I was eating Sweet Chick for about a week, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man.
Well, what was the soundtrack to your junior high experience?
I don't even remember junior high. I just remember back in the days, I was like one of the only kids in Brooklyn listening to like hieroglyphics. Like that was my like Souls and Mischief, Dell, like I was bringing that shit to Brooklyn because nobody knew who that was, but I loved it. Like 93 Till was like, that was my favorite record probably. And, and the whole Dell album and Casual, all that shit.
That's so crazy, but it makes so much sense. Cause like, I want to say Brown and them met you at the record shop, but I never kind of got the East Coast dude working in a record shop and then the West Coast cats coming through. Like I never got it, but now I get it. You know what I'm saying?
You know who used to work at the record shop? Me too. Top Dog from OGC. From boot camp.
Oh, okay.
He used to work at the shop with me too. Yeah.
Man, I've told this story a couple times, and I'll give the abbreviated version. But I remember being at Midem in France, like it was like a distribution convention where different people would go, and there would be like artists there to sell their music, and then there would be people who licensed music that had booths there, and like the two would get together, and people could get, you could basically, if you had an album, you could go to Midem and you could like license your album in the States, Japan, the European Union. Like you could really go there with one piece of content and just like license it out and make some money. So I was at the convention, and I remember this cat from Canada told me, he was like, man, the CD is about to be a wrap. And I remember my heart dropped, man. I remember I didn't even feel good. Like whatever that feeling is you get in your stomach. And I was like, damn, for real? It's almost like somebody saying, man, COVID is about to happen. And you're like, no. And then you start thinking about it, and you're like, well, dang, people are getting sick. People, stuff's going on. And yeah, that was crazy. But for you, Killa Touch, working in the record shop, seeing people do mixtapes, and then I'm gonna jump ahead, but we're gonna come back and finish up and then get into what you got going currently. But it's kind of like, I remember when you were coming to LA and you were having meetings with Cash Money, and like you always bounced around. Like some of the time that you came to LA, it would be like you're out touring with people, but then the other part, you really have meetings with people and stuff like that. So with the transition of the CD kind of being irrelevant, mixtape is like a novelty thing that people, or not mixtape, but a cassette tape is like a novelty thing that someone will do when they're like hella large, like for promotional. How do artists maneuver around this whole Spotify, SoundCloud, and all this stuff?
I was just talking about this the other day. I think this is the worst thing that ever happened to music, man. Like, it's just so bad. Like, it made it to the point where it's just so bad, because I had meetings with like 5 labels not too long ago, right? And I played them all my artist music, right? And they loved every song, everything. It's incredible, incredible, incredible. But all they care about is looking on the Spotify and seeing what the numbers look like. But at the same time, most of those numbers are fake because anybody could go and manipulate those numbers. So they're only signing you based on your little buzz. They don't care about the talent. And that shit ruins the whole music business. You know what I'm saying? Like, music is at this is at the worst place it's ever been, in my opinion. Because talent means nothing.
I'm coming up with we're gonna hop back on track, but I got this one. Did you see the South coming?
Nah, because in New York we didn't play that shit at all.
Dude, they just came from, I don't want to say nowhere because they were in the South and they was doing what they do, but dude, the domination, East Coast and West Coast still ain't recovered. Like, we still ain't recovered.
Because we hated. I can only speak for New York, but we hated on the South so much at first, we wouldn't play that shit at all. Like, the only South shit I would play at the time was Outkast, Southern Playalistic Cadillac. That was probably the only South shit I would play. and not in the club. That's like I'll play in the crib. Like in the club, you couldn't, like on the radio, you couldn't play none of that shit at all.
Dang.
What do you think about AI? Anybody see that coming?
That's the craziest shit ever now. That's gonna make shit even worse. Now you could have a song with fucking anybody.
I
think that's why a lot of people selling their catalogs, man. That can sell their catalogs, that have a catalog that's sizable enough, and they're just like, you know what? I'll get this show money. I'll make more music. But man, let this catalog, you know what I'm saying, do what it's gonna do, because and then the other thing about it.
Yeah, but there's also what a lot of people don't know is if I sell you my catalog and some of that shit is 20 years old, I'm allowed to re-record it. It could be the same song. You can just change, you gotta just replay everything and I could put it out again. And
there's a few people doing that.
Like that's what Ashanti's doing now. Ashanti's putting out the album again because it's old. She don't own the old one, but she could put it out again and she owns it.
Wow.
A lot of people don't know that.
Dang, okay. So you know what I'm saying? Killa Touch, you know what I'm saying? I'll say international Playboy, but he might be locked down, but I'll still give him Playboy on it, you know what I'm saying? Bouncing between New York or New Jersey, Bronx, to Florida, and record label entrepreneur, you know what I'm saying, breaking us off with a shot glass of game on it.
Like I said, man, this shit is just so complicated right now. Because they don't care about talent, man. That's why all these artists come out with these one songs that, you know, they get hot and you never hear from it again, because that shit get a little buzz on Instagram. Sometimes it could be just a joke, but that shit'll get such a buzz. A label will fucking give you $1 million, $2 million, and you'll never hear from these people again. But the talented artists, they don't care.
So tell me this: what are the labels like right now in the climate where we at right now? Is everybody are the labels on full ownership, or are they down to just partner, or they just go hard on the full?
They have to partner. They can't, because right now they don't come at you until you're already hot. So if I'm already hot and you need me, why am I gonna give you everything? You got to partner with me now. But that's why the game is so fucked up, because the labels don't want to make you hot anymore. You have to already be hot. So if I'm already hot, I don't need you.
Yeah.
So it's a fucked up world.
Yeah, I know. I do stand-up comedy, and I'd say what I realized recently, well, not recently, I just feel like it was debatable, but now it's not, where it's just based upon your social media reach, not even your actual numbers, because people can fake numbers, you know, like your following. But if your reach, you know, that's what they base everything off of. I think it was debatable at one point, but now it's just like you said, like if you get hot and you do have a big reach, now they want to do something for you. But it's like, well, if I did all this by myself, then I can get anything I want. So why do I need you?
I think this shit, the shit, to me, I don't know if this is where it started, but this I always go back to this. Bobby Shmurda record, hot nigga, it was a joke on Twitter. When him throwing his hat up, this shit went viral because of that. and that shit made it hot. Like it was a joke that blew up because it was everywhere on social media. So it's like didn't matter. It doesn't matter about the music as long as that shit goes viral. You're gonna get a deal, and that shit is so.
Do you feel like it's important for artists to focus on those type of tricks and gimmicks to sell or be relevant, or should they focus more on? I mean, it's a real question.
The music is the least important part of being an artist now, which is sad. The music does not matter. If you can go online and go viral, no matter. That's why some of these people be doing gay shit and all, because if that whatever works. Once you hit, if you can maintain it, you good. But most people can't because they're not really artists. Like so.
No, it's the reason I say it's a legit question. Like just watching the amount of, like there's several things tied into it, but I think from the comedy side, Monique's special just came out, right? Monique sued Netflix. That was a whole big thing. Not even get into that, but I can't help but to think that the press that came from her going back and forth, with all the people, she got into with Oprah, Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry, and D.L. Hughley, and all that stuff. Her name being relevant in the news helped get her special released. Or even the fact that with Chris Rock's special, they offered him an additional $20 million to put that special out because of the Will Smith slap. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, I mean, that many more people. And I bet you that probably came from, hey, don't go anywhere else because we know we're going to get some viewership off the words you say. So sensationalism, that's the word. Sensationalism. You feel like that's the focus of today?
Yeah.
Man, that's it's interesting about that Monique thing, man. It's very interesting because I watched it and
Yeah, I like to say right now that I apologize for defending her so heavily. Let the views expressed by Monique not reflect those of Jeremy Scipio. Thank you.
Yeah, man, I was really trying to none of it could stick to my ribs, really, man. And the whack thing about it was, dude, she did go up against the system, and if she finally got her special, she did win. You know what I'm saying? She did, figuratively and metaphorically,
and she got money out of Netflix. They had to settle with her. So, yeah.
I remember, and she got all that, and when she got her special, I just felt like man, she went through all that and she got that. And me looking at like contemporary comedy right now, and not to say that, I mean, Jeremy's my closest post to live comedy, because I just wasn't interested in physically the culture of it, because there's a culture to it. You know what I'm saying? It's more than just watching something that's taped, cut, edited, and whatnot. Like Jeremy has motivated me to hit the actual club. So I'm seeing people, you know what I'm saying, and like the struggle. And this may be unfair, but I'll say, dude, Marlon Wayans, which I know he didn't make as much money on what he did as Monique on what she did, and he was hilarious, dude. Like, for Monique,
you saw it, so yeah. I remember we was talking about it. Yeah.
But for Monique to get that special and it wasn't hilarious, dude, it left me scratching my head.
She was hot at the moment. That's it. Her name was in everywhere you look. So that's all.
But I will say this, and then I'm gonna leave Monique alone. Her acting in BMF was like, man, she did her thing in that. She did her thing in BMF. Like, man, I give it to her in BMF. But when I watched the special, I was kind of like, oh man, she went through all that. And anyway, that's all personal opinion. You know?
Nah, man. I mean, it's very relevant. I mean, it's like I said, sensationalism. You know what I mean? That's what it is. She pushed the barometer. People tuned in. That's all that mattered. People subscribed. By the way, who's your favorite comic? Killa Touch.
I'll tell you who it ain't. It ain't no damn Kevin Hart or none of them. I don't think he's that funny. A good friend of mine, I don't know if you ever heard a comedian named A.G. White.
Sounds familiar.
He did a lot of stuff. That's a good friend of mine. He's real funny. But I'm trying. I like Dave Chappelle, man. I used to go to the Chappelle live shit tapings all the time. I like Dave Chappelle. I like Cat Williams.
Yeah, Dave, those both good ones too.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was watching some stuff on Cat last weekend, and he really don't get the props he deserves, man. I mean, because he can act. Well, let's say this. He does the comedic acting thing incredible, and on stage he's very funny too. And I just don't see too many people that are able to transition the two, and both of them are kind of hilarious.
Yeah, no, Cat Williams live show. He was dope. You know, I've seen Chappelle live. I've seen Cat Williams live. I've seen Kevin Hart live, and I think Cat might be one. Chappelle might be two live. And
You said Chappelle one?
I think Cat Williams will be number one.
Cat was one.
I think Cat Williams one and Chappelle be two.
Okay.
But you know the thing about Chappelle, I mean, not Chappelle, I'm sorry. The thing about Cat, he can tell jokes, his delivery and all that is tight, but at the same time, he's a physical actor. And so when he throw, and that's another thing that Marlon Wayans, that's like, that's like actors that can do that. That's like that extra little thing. You know what I'm saying? That's the extra part.
Yeah, I ain't gonna get into the super criticisms of comedians today, but let's just say, yeah, man, I definitely idolize both of those guys. I think when it comes to Cat is definitely underrated in his intelligence. People always want to throw him in the like wild ghetto pimp category, but the substance of his material. I will say he got a hard on for attacking the America and the government right now. But with that being said, his perspective is much needed, even outside the comedy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he always give a new insight and perspective. I'm looking at A.G. White here, man. So I used to be like, right when I was considering starting comedy, I used to watch Bad Boys of Comedy like religiously. I had that DVD I watched over and over and over. This dude is hilarious. I love everybody from Bad Boys of Comedy holds a special place in my heart. Bad Boys of Comedy was P. Diddy's attempt at doing a Def Jam thing. It only had one season, but man, it was good. I like everybody from there. But yeah, Homeboys, he's dope.
Yeah, that's my good friend. I used to do all the comedy shows with him. I used to DJ all his shows and shit.
Yeah, he's funny. I haven't seen. Is he not to be disrespectful? He's still on the scene, or where's he doing it these days?
Yeah, he's still on the scene. He still does.
New York.
He does the shit all over.
Yeah, I'm in LA. I haven't seen him, but I definitely would want to run into him at some point.
He was just out here in Miami a couple weeks ago. I seen him.
Yeah, I gotta get to. I don't really do. I just did Memphis. I gotta get to Atlanta, and I gotta get to Miami. I heard Miami is the hardest comedy scene.
Cat Williams was just here on Saturday at the Hard Rock. He was just here.
Jeez.
There's a lot of competition, man. You got lifestyle versus the actual talent that's going on. Man. Sheesh. Miami is like, man, Beverly Hills on the beach, kind of, sort of, in patches. What would you? So you moving from New York to Miami, what was that transition like?
Man, that was the best shit I ever did in my life, man. Because Miami. Well, first I moved to Miami. Now I live in Fort Lauderdale, but it's like you got to think about Miami like this. Miami is the only place in the continental United States where it's hot all year round. You're not going to get no cold weather. You're not going to get no snow. So there's always going to be tourists here. So if you can provide a service for the tourists, you ain't got to do nothing else. So, but like with that being like, like if you have a rental car company, an Airbnb company, a jet ski company, like all you gotta do is something like that, and you'll never be broke out here because there's always gonna be tourists, and they always gonna need something. So it's so easy. It's easy out here to hustle, and it's warm weather all year round.
Nah, that's dope. So tell me this. So you basically you DJ'd, ain't had too many jobs, but if you had to say, what job you feel gave you the best job experience?
I ain't never had no job. Except for everything was music related. I never had no like real job.
It's amazing. That's a blessing.
I think, especially in 2023, if you have a job, you're doing something wrong.
Oh man! So
if you ain't
slow down, Earth. Hey guys,
that's the point. There's so many ways.
Chat on fire.
There's so many ways you can work for yourself. Why you gonna work for somebody else?
Oh wow!
You're absolutely right.
But man, everybody's not built for that though, man. Some people are built to, man, they built the 9 to 5 lab rat.
Let me rephrase that. If you're under 30 and you have a job, there's something wrong with you.
I thought you were going to go the opposite direction.
No, because if you're under 30, you should know how to make money on Instagram. You should know how to make an e-commerce store. You should know how to get an Airbnb. You should know how to do. You should know that's just part of growing up now.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of truth to that. I think we're in the most innovative time, and just especially when even the dollar's being questioned with stuff like Bitcoin and whatever. So what I mean. So it's like it's too many alternative ways to make some money. So you got a point.
Yeah, how many people got rich real quick off of Bitcoin and Dogecoin and all these coins, and them old people wasn't not too many old people was on that. All the young kids on that. Bitcoin used to be in Brooklyn. I don't know about everywhere else, but in Brooklyn that's how the scammers did everything with Bitcoin. Like before Bitcoin blew up, that's the scam. Anything you did had to go through Bitcoin.
Really?
My boy, he told me he used to play video games and buy pieces with Bitcoin. I was like, what? Yeah, he's talking about like this, like 2000, maybe 12, 13, like, way back before it became, popping.
That's what.
Yeah, man. So, but the scary thing with that stuff is once everybody's talking about it, it's too late. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you got to get it right before.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
When that Dogecoin shit started, one of my boys from Cali called me and said, "Yo, man, this Dogecoin shit about to blow up." I didn't really believe it, so I just took 200 and put that shit into it, and that shit made me over $20,000. Like if I would have put some real money into it, I only put 200, and I got over 20 bands. So imagine if I would have put 10,000, 20,000, I'd have been a fucking millionaire.
Yeah, I had a little quick come up like that with AMC, not GameStop though. That would have been life changing.
GameStop was crazy too.
That was wild. That was like insane.
But social media fucks everything up because once that shit hits, now the fucking million motherfuckers know about it and it fucks everything up. Like what happened to all these fucking NFTs? All that shit became hot on Instagram and became too hot, and now it's over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Instagram just stopped paying people. You hear about that?
I'm mad about that.
Yeah, we all mad. Once they did the blue,
and Twitter took the blue checks away.
Yeah, because they making too much money off of it. There's Instagram made $600 million in 2 days off of it.
But they're also going to kill themselves because now all the important motherfuckers are not going to pay for it. So it's gonna backfire in the long run.
Maybe. I mean, I say like pretty much. I look at it like there was a difference between Netflix and Hulu. Is Hulu has a cheap version and a premium version. I look at social media like that. But I'm a per like I definitely think like Hulu's never been as popular as Netflix. So I don't know who's gonna have the edge on that, but I look at social media, especially the price points, like $15 for a blue check.
But if all the people, if all the rappers and athletes and shits no longer have a blue check, but all the regular niggas have the blue check, the value's already going in the blue check, so it doesn't mean shit anymore. So eventually niggas gonna stop paying for it.
Yeah, you're right. That's crazy. They made so much money off there. That's ridiculous. How do you feel Trump's arrest affects the nation in the long run?
I think they just arrested him, so they're trying to get him not to be able to run. But
yeah, we
need Trump because Biden is trash.
No, speaking of which,
listen, I mean, y'all can say what y'all want about Trump, but the facts are, everybody was all them other countries, all that shit they doing to Biden, they wouldn't do if Trump was here. That's a fact, because they knew Trump might have pressed that button. Trump gave everybody some bread. There wasn't I seen motherfuckers that never had $1 in their life. Now all of a sudden they had all this money because Trump was throwing that money out. And how could anybody say that Trump is a racist when back in the 80s and 90s, every rapper had Trump in their video and Trump was around all them back in it. So it's like, come on, that's a fact.
But that's just making money though. You know what I'm saying?
No.
The racist man that doesn't need to be around him is not going to be around him. Trump didn't need to be around none of them.
I'll say this. What Trump is a pandering opportunist is what he is. So it's like he's whatever it takes to get whoever he wants to get it from. You know what I'm saying? So if he got to say some stuff that's bigoted, then he's going to say that. If he got to say something that sounds right to the conservative base, then he's going to say that. You know, whatever he got to do to get where he's trying to go, not too many personal attachments are attached to it.
But look, but bringing up with the AI shit now all these motherfuckers, these AI people is gonna make all types of racist shit that's gonna sound like Biden, it's gonna sound like Trump. So now you don't even know if who's saying what is real anymore, and it's about to be a fucked up world with this AI shit.
I can't wait till they ban that, especially with the music. I don't want to hear no face.
How can you ban it? How? That's like
just like YouTube. If you put up 5 seconds of a song, bro, it's a wrap. They'll just take the whole video down.
Yeah, but there's always ways around it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, long as experts, it's like the like heavy artillery. Experts can use it, fine, whatever. But I don't want the general public to have that as a weapon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean they need to, but I think that's gonna be very tough to ban, man.
Yeah, man.
They're working on it right now. I could tell because Universal, like the higher up people, losing money, so they working on the way.
Somebody gonna be a young comedian, and they gonna say, "I want to say Jeremy." I want to say Jeremy Scipio comedy. You know what I'm saying?
But they can take your voice, they can make it look like you actually saying it. Like they can actually make a video.
Yeah, deep. Well, like Kendrick showed us that. Man, how do you copyright your identity? Like it's like you can separate your voice from your face and then turn you into something else. That's crazy. It's like the Terminator, the T-1000.
Oh man. So high school, Killer Touch. What did you think you were gonna be doing when you graduated?
I was a DJ, man.
I keep asking the same question 5, 6, 7 different times.
I mean, I didn't know it would take me this far, but that's all I knew.
All right.
It's amazing. With plaques on the wall, man. That's amazing.
I mean, listen, so I graduated high school in 96, 98, I think it was 98. I had Kanye West up in my college radio station, freestyling when everybody said he couldn't rap. Like I was on it early.
Yeah.
I was doing podcasts before there was podcasts.
Oh, absolutely. I can believe that.
Man. So
next president, man. Who you thinking?
as long as it ain't Biden.
We got duped, man. We really got duped, man. Oh man, I think it was an experiment.
I'm trying to tell you, they try to make Trump seem so bad that anybody would have been better, and then Biden came and speak. Biden came and stay awake while he's giving a speech.
Yeah.
And you telling me that's better than Trump?
I'll tell you this, man. Where I feel like we got Biden, I didn't see his mental health and his age and all that kind of stuff being, what it was. But I'll say the thing that gave me some hope with the situation was Kamala Harris. And it's kind of like all that I got out of her was she does that thing when she talks and she emotionally whines. And I think a lot of people just gravitated towards that, just looking at her like, oh man, she's the first blah, blah, blah of color and whoop-de-woo and whoop-de-woo. But my thing was, she never claimed she was a Black woman. She never claimed she was Black. But she kind of tried to pander to the Black people. And when she was talking about Tupac and just all this, that, and the other, I was just like, oh man, they got us.
Yeah, but listen, man. Biden is over 80 years old. There should be an age limit to being a president. Like, how are you going to have to be a president? And he's going to be 8. If he wins next term, he's going to be 83-year-old president. Like, that's crazy.
I don't think he's going to win, man.
I know he's not, but I'm just saying. But he's eligible. Like, you shouldn't even be eligible to run when you're 80 years old.
He just announced his run. I mean, what got him in the office? What got him in the office was the people pulling the strings anyway. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like who y'all think gonna be next president anyway? Y'all think it's gonna be Trump? I think the nation don't want Trump Biden, but I mean, if it's Trump Biden again, who you think got it?
So tell me this though. The question that I would have, if the Democrats come up with another, because they showed one of the Kennedy sons announced a run for it, but can Democrats run against, like, how does that work?
No, it's just like the NBA, or you got the Northern Conference versus the like you got the sides. That's just the way it is. There's got to be a Democratic Party nominee. I mean, they have the first the first go around, whatever, but like I said, it's all
they're gonna have to be elected.
Other people. Like at the end of the day, it's always going to be one person versus the other, but they can have somebody. But I just say the fact that if Biden's announcements his run, it'll probably be it just depends. If they were preparing somebody, they're preparing them, but I don't think it's anybody. I mean, AOC, but I think she got some years before she can run.
If Biden wins, we fucked. Look what happens when you be president. Our dollar is no longer means shit. Every country is fucking fighting with each other, coming for us. Now they're saying we don't only got to worry about countries. We got to worry about aliens attacking us. You seen that the other day?
Yeah, we got it. Yeah.
They confirmed that we got threats now coming from outer space.
I'm square as a pack of cigarettes, man. I ain't been watching the right thing, man. I didn't know we had that level of stress to be on the brain.
I said the other day, man. So listen, Biden. Nah, he got to get the fuck up out of here. At least if Trump is in there, niggas gonna be scared. They ain't gonna talk all that talk with Trump around because they know he about that shit. Trump about it. Trump about it.
Oh man, but they done dirtied this man's name though. It's gonna be so weird having a president with like all the stripes against him. But we had it before, so they keep trying to send this man to jail every week. So.
I'm not gonna harp on it, but I gotta say it. That whole him getting arrested and all that was a farce, man. Arrested is when you gotta do the walk of shame, handcuffs, head down, you don't want whatever. Your bodyguards is walking in front of you, they throw a coat over the handcuffs so you can't actually get photographed with handcuffs. Trump did the pimp walk off and he did the crip walk. He crip walked off into that.
Just think about it though. If Trump was to go to jail, the Secret Service got to go with him.
Yeah, he ain't going to
They
jail.
the Secret Service got to be in jail with him.
They wanted that press op. They wanted that pick. They would never get that pick. And you know, as much money as he's donated to prisons personally, there's no way. He's like, I built these walls, bro. Y'all ain't never gonna get me up in here. Come on, man.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Lighter note, Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Why you drop your head?
Man.
I mean, I was never too much like a comic book dude, but as far as the movies, Marvel.
Dang. I'm gonna have to rethink that, man. But nah, because I'm a hell of a DC. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing. But I'm like, damn, am I really just going against the grain?
Who DC got? Who DC got? Who DC
Batman.
DC, there's Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash. You got the was it Hawkman?
And who Marvel got? Come on, all
Marvel guys, Spider-Man, Wolverine, the entirety of the X-Men, Captain America.
Really better move.
Yeah, it's because I would say in the 90s, DC kind of had, well, obviously before that, but I say specifically in the 90s, they kind of had a stronghold. Like they were like more solid of a company overall. Marvel was on life support, but they did have Spider-Man and I would say the X-Men. I think that's what carried them through. But once they hit the movies, because they kind of sold off their properties. But the moment they started making these movies and they were able to get their properties back, man, they the DC was late to the ball game on the movies.
Yeah, you're leaving a part out, man.
Over.
Once they hooked up with Disney.
No, Disney bought them because their equity went up. Disney wouldn't have bought them if they wasn't killing it. The movies, because they bought them in 2012. The first official Marvel movie came out in 2008. So yeah, Disney was just betting on the higher. They would have bought DC if they could. But yeah, Disney. But before they had Batman. That was actually it. That was the only thing DC was like killing on. But the thing is, I say the real question is, can DC make a comeback?
Yeah. Well, you know what? The emotional side of me said, yeah, because I'm just barking because you said it. But then I got to look at it, man. They had dang, what was that movie? With The Rock.
Black Adam?
They had Black Adam. The Rock flexed, even though they had fired Superman. The Rock got Superman to come into the last, like during the credits, they had Superman came to have a conversation with him, but something happened and DC just started scrapping, like it started some kind of crazy domino.
Black Adam happened. That's why they started. Yo, what are you talking about? You just said it. That movie was so bad that ruined everything. They had to start from scratch.
I've seen it 5 times, man. I've seen it. And Killa Touch, I can tell by the look on his face, he's oblivious to it all, but Black Adam is all right, man.
I ain't never see it.
A lot of people didn't. Who's your favorite hero?
Like I said, I really wasn't into that shit like that.
All right. I'm gonna go back to something that you do know about. You'd have been in some spaces and places, the whole 9, seen artists that people probably laughed at, and you just saw them lap fools and just become just these great things. What's your most iconic moment?
I ain't gonna say iconic, but I'm gonna say the craziest shit. I don't remember what year it was. I went to this open mic event in Manhattan. And the shit was empty, nobody there. This dude performing comes outside, he gives me a tape. I take the tape home, listen to it, it's cool. It was like a demo tape, it was like 6 songs. It was the Slim Shady. Nobody was at the show, nobody gave a fuck about him. 2 months later, hi, my name is Job, and he's the biggest thing in the world. I'm like, yo, that was nuts.
Hey man, I got a similar story. I done said it before. I went to go and watch this Aftermath showcase. And it was kind of when Dre had first got Aftermath, and you didn't look at him like that hot poppin' Dre. It was kind of like, okay, he was kind of a gatekeeper or whatever. I knew that he had gotten his distribution deal because he was hiring a lot of people, like street team people and all this kind of stuff, like the buzz was going around. But Aftermath itself it really hadn't popped anything off to just make you say, oh, it was like right, I won't say right when he left Death Row, but it was like a little after he left Death Row. And he had this showcase. So he had 3-Card Molly perform. 3-Card Molly was Exhibit, Raz Kass, and Saphir from the Bay. That was 3-Card Molly. He had somebody else perform, and he had this white kid go up, and I could not get it, dude. Like I like, man, if I would have been an A&R person, I would have been the worst A&R dude in the world. I could not get it. And it was freaking Eminem, dude. But the people there couldn't get it. But I'll tell you what the kind of like what the moral of that interaction was. You could take somebody, you could be in the same space as somebody, and you may not connect to them, but get some paper behind them. Get that, which Dr. Dre, he does not get credit for being a person that could take a battle rapper, a la Kendrick, a la Eminem, and a la 50 Cent, and teach them how to structure songs, teach them how to structure a song, and put that production up underneath it, and create superstars, man. Like who does that? You gotta give it to Dre. Like, dude, he really took 50 Cent, where 50 Cent was doing the mixtape thing and all that, but Dre taught him how to make songs. Like, a song is totally different than something that may entertain you. That's a quick little whoop whoop. You know what I'm saying? And he really made hit. I'll say, for Dre to take Eminem and teach him song structure and all that, that's incredible.
Yeah, because most battle rappers can't make songs. Most of them.
Dude, they just go off. They go off, and they would make the average person say, man, I don't want to hear no more of this.
That's why like people used to hate me, because, like, people come up to me in the club, yo, let me rap for you. I'm like, I don't want to hear you rap. Like, send me a song, because anybody can rap, but I need to hear a song, because there's a big difference in being able to come and spit some bars and make a record. I don't care if you can spit bars. I need to hear your song. People used to hate me for that, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, the songs was selling. So yeah, at the end of the day.
Yeah, that shit, that anybody could rap.
What's the next album you looking forward to?
Shit, none.
No, he's funny.
Like, the album is like dead. Like, I mean, people don't even make albums no more. Like, it's crazy. I really, this is really not an album I'm looking forward to, which sounds crazy, but I can't think of one.
Wow. Well, I'll say this, for you to be in the music industry, at least you've adjusted. Like me, I'm like old, like I'm still up here talking about, oh man, I'm waiting. I listen to albums every weekend. I'm waiting for this album. Yeah, if you're waiting for an album, you're probably waiting for the wrong thing, because you're probably not going to get an album. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get a couple hot songs here, a couple hot songs there, and the interesting thing.
But let's even think about an album. Ice Spice dropped an album, and it's 13 minutes long. The whole album is 13 minutes. Like,
It's 13. Oh, she dropped out?
Yeah, the whole album is 13 minutes long. That's it, 13 minutes.
I think that's like a mixtape. What the heck?
But
that's not even a mixtape. That's like 3 songs.
That's an extended version.
But songs now are only a minute long. So
for TikTok.
I mean, people don't have tolerance, like, because not even that, because these people, they're not good. So it's like, you can't rap for too long. Like, I can fool you for a minute, but if I gotta do it for 3 minutes, you know, it's different.
Yeah, that's crazy. You're right. She dropped out. I had no idea. And it's
Look at it. 13 minutes.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know what, to me, Ice Spice is no insults at all. I don't really have an opinion, but Ice Spice kind of reminds me of the Baby in the sense of you had a song that had a flow and people were like, oh, so you're a great artist, make more music. And then they kept making the same song over and over and over with that same flow.
What you could do.
You know, like it's just the same her song.
And Ice Spice only uses one producer. So it's like she's not getting too much. She uses one producer and raps the same every time. I mean, how long is that gonna last?
Let's see. I mean, female rappers are there's so many of them right now. I can't keep up. Actually, I don't keep up.
None of them last. Cardi B, one album.
One album.
Haven't heard from her again.
Social media star. Well, just a entertainer in general.
Nicki Minaj is the last one that that lasted.
She had a great run, man. I mean, a great run.
She's coming back now, and I think she still could come out. She could still drop out, and people gonna care. She just got on the remix for Ice Spice because she had
Yeah, she has. She know Nicki is really smart at marketing. She knows she gets in there every time. Every time.
Your ultimate goal.
Trying to get this, trying to bring talent back to the music.
All right.
That's a pretty stiff, that's a pretty tall order, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, I'm so sick of that shit, man. Like, it's sad. There's nothing good. Like the fact that I just said I'm not looking forward to any album, that's sad, man. Because remember back in the days, we couldn't wait. We had that release day. We waiting for that Nas album. We waiting for that Jay-Z album. We waiting for that. Now it's like, who we waiting? And now it's like they'll just drop that shit on Friday. There's no promotion, no build up. Drake might just come out and drop that shit with no anticipation. Like it's just sad.
Yeah, you're right. I agree. There's no album I'm even looking forward to now. Like,
because you might not even know what's coming out. You might not even know because they don't even tell you. Next Friday could be an album with Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas. You wouldn't even know because they're just going to drop it without promoting, without building up any anticipation.
You're right. Absolutely right. Yeah. And then like the previous efforts, a lot of times when the hype is so big, you be like, dang, he about to drop. But like Drake's last 2 albums have been like, like I feel like he could do that at each point. That don't mean nothing. Like it's not like I'm like, oh, this is the album that's gonna shut everybody up. Kendrick, even when he dropped, even though I thought it was cool, but it was still melancholy. It wasn't like, yo, this is gonna end all rappers.
There hasn't been an album that I could literally that I could put in and just listen to in a long time because these people make half-hour albums.
I know Jim Jones was going in on Pusha T saying he don't belong in the top 50 rappers. What's your stance?
I think that's an impossible list, man. Like that list is there's too many rappers and there's too many time periods and there's too many variables on who could be on the list. And there should be different lists. Top 10 of the 90s or top 10 of the 90s. Like, how can you compare Drake to Rakim? How can you like? They shouldn't be on the same list. They shouldn't be on the same list ever.
But Kiss top 5 on all of them though.
Yeah, but Kiss has been around since the 90s and he's still around. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he wasn't around for that long, like I always say this is my argument. If 50 Cent would have died at the Get Rich or Die Trying, people might have said he's the best rapper ever.
Oh, absolutely. But, facts.
But now is he? No, because
they don't even.
Right. Like that's why I argue. Like it's hard for me to put Biggie in my top 5 because
he's gonna say
Biggie be hot right now because Nas isn't even in my top 5 because I think Nas, not no disrespect, but his new stuff is like, like
I believe it or not, I'm inclined to agree. What it is the fact that I think like this generation is appreciating like by definition just real rap, but that wasn't his most passionate stuff. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a rebel at heart, and I like the previous stuff because I feel like he was going against something, you know. But at this point, he's technically a part of the machine. He's not. He don't have any like bars that's like against. You know, he's a executive. He's he's making millions of dollars every day.
Jay-Z puts an album right now, that shit's gonna be something. Like if Jay puts out
Jay-Z?
Yeah. That's why Jay-Z's one in my list. And
it's like what do you just hypothetically, what is Jay-Z gonna talk about?
It doesn't matter. Whatever we talk about, it's gonna be like it's gonna be some shit. It's gonna be some shit because he always every album he we came out with the 444. That was some grown man shit, but it was like it was relatable to us. It's not for the Jay-Z album is not gonna be for the 20-year-old kids. It's gonna be for us. So we're gonna be talking about shit that we can relate to.
That's about one of the realest things I've heard this year, man.
And then like another person that's always on my list that people always leave out on their list is LL Cool J.
Yeah.
How could you not put LL on your top 5? LL was battling. LL could battle anybody, destroy them. He can make a record for the bitches. They're gonna love him, and he's still not like he's still around today, but he was still around until what 2010.
No, 04, 05.
No, but he still put out music in 20. I mean, it wasn't, but he still had a hit record. What was his last?
Handspring was his last. If you know something, I don't know.
Yeah, he had. But if he put out a record now, he could still put out a record for the bitches right now. He could still put out a record for the bitches.
I definitely agree. I mean, because his health is there. You know, he looks the same he did back then. So yeah, I could imagine. But I'll say,
I mean, he was just like he destroyed cannabis, like. And Cannabis was the young, hot dude that everybody thought was nobody could battle. And he destroyed him. And he destroyed every battle he was in.
I know somebody said, you hear these list conversations every day, but they were saying that LL belongs on the list because he started this conversation. They said people wasn't having this conversation before him.
Yeah.
Before he put it out there. You disagree? It's too East Coast for him.
Hey man, I'll say this, man. We're gonna pivot a little bit, and I want your reel on this, Killer Touch. How did it feel to for the world to know what you know about Jadakiss? Because, dude, I hate to say it, but I didn't realize who he was until Versus. Like, I mean, I knew who he was. Like, dude, I knew he was on Rough Riders, knew he was on Bad Boy, knew he kicked some, knew he kicked some verses here, verses there. But when I never got too hyped on the whole Versus thing, but dude, I had Dipset like a mug, man. I was like, man, the locks against Dipset. I had totally forgot.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why I knew that the locks was gonna be Dipset before anything. The only reason why I knew the locks was gonna be Dipset, well, 2 reasons. One, because Dipset are not friends. They're never together. They don't do shows together. Their DJ is terrible. So the locks are friends. They perform together all the time and they rehearse.
Kept saying that.
So I knew off of that alone they were gonna win.
Yeah, they was showing out, man. That's like that's my favorite verses right now. Because like,
I mean that you can't beat that. There can't be you can't top that in verses.
The synergy, man. The synergy between, even as a kid, man, listening to Kiss and Styles together, that was like unbeatable. I think that back and forth flow, when other people are doing it, I feel like they're like imitating what they do.
Because the Locks are the only crew that's never had a public argument, never broke up, never fought. You never heard nothing bad. Not saying that they don't argue, but you'll never know.
Yeah.
It's hard.
That's the difference between the Locks and everybody else. Dipset, you'll never catch Jim Jones, Joel Santana, and Cameron hanging out, ever.
Is there another verses that you would want to see, or you feel like that was it?
I mean, you can't top that. everybody's talking about this Lil Wayne versus 50 Cent versus like, but I don't even like that's after that Locks versus Dipset, there's nothing you can do.
That's the top of it.
You can't top that.
Who else would you put the Locks up against?
I mean, everybody wanted to see them against G Unit. I mean, who else can they really go against? I mean, Mobb Deep. I don't know.
G Unit went to spitters like that. It'll be just Lloyd, by like literally Lloyd versus Locks.
Yeah, but Kiss is gonna destroy any of them.
Yeah.
Man, I did not know he was the secret weapon until I saw that versus, man. And the beauty of it, Styles P and Sheik Luch just kick back and let the bulldog go. They just let him go.
But that's the brotherhood. Then Dipset couldn't do that. Dipset couldn't let one of them shine. They had to all try to be flashy, and Styles and Sheik knew what it was.
They let him go, man, and I was just like that. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, and then even when Kiss battled did the verses against Fab, everybody thought Fab was gonna kill him. And he killed Fab, like, because Kiss is a different type of animal. Kiss said it in the club. The other day when we was in Live, the DJ was talking about verse, like, you know, Kiss was doing a little like performance, and the DJ was like, oh, you know, you got to do the verse, you got to do the freestyle, the verses. Kiss got on the mic and said, well, if you don't have the instrumental, don't play it, because the reason why I killed it because I did it live. There was no words. Like, I'll do it live. That sportsmanship is always going to beat, you know, the bullshit, and that's kind of what it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw there was this video on YouTube of Jay-Z. He was at I guess he popped up at like a So Def concert or whatever with Jermaine Dupri, and he kept going, like, he kept playing Jay-Z song. Jay-Z was like, nah, like, unless you got the instrumental, then I'm not gonna do it. Like, you just kept seeing him whisper. So then he just said he'll just do it a cappella. He'd rather do a cappella to a stadium full of people.
We've never performed over words ever.
Never.
And that freestyle that Kiss did, that freestyle was 15 years old, but it's just how we did it, and it fit perfect, and like it seemed like some of the words were going directly at Dipset, and especially now, I don't know, y'all not DJs, but with the new Serato, you can press a button and make an instrumental. So there's no reason now to perform over words.
Ooh. Yeah, I think Apple came out with something where you can control the volume on the words.
No, Serato has the button and that's it. No, there's no words.
That's crazy.
Press the other button.
Technology is amazing.
You can make an instrumental or acapella just by pressing the button.
Yeah.
So there's no reason for any artist now to perform over words because you got the instrumental.
Hmm.
So pivoting off into some whole other stuff. So you being from New York, relocating to Miami, this is kind of, I call this the Monkey Hustle Chronicles. And so basically, what's the coldest hustle that was ever run on you or run on one of your homeboys?
I'm from Brooklyn. You can't run no hustle on me. We smarter than
that. What's the coldest one you saw get ran on somebody?
I mean, they get ran every day now in the music business. Like people will tell you, oh, yo, you know, give me $10,000. Oh, well, you know, give me $10,000. I'm gonna get you on this, that. I'm gonna get you, you know, that shit happens every day now. So the music
is the music promotion. Then I got to hook up with Whoop-de Whoop, and I got to hook up with Whoop-de Whoop. Give me the money, I'll get you on the Spotify list. Whoop, whoop.
And you're never gonna hear from them dudes again. Or they gonna just give you a bunch of fake numbers.
Oh wow.
That shit every day.
All right, I'll take that. It wasn't long, it wasn't no great storyline to it.
I'm gonna tell you something. I did to somebody. So there was this dude years ago. One day I just get a DM. I got a DM on Instagram. The dude DMs me. He's like, yo, do you know DJ Envy? I'm like, of course I know DJ Envy. It's my boy. He's like, yo, if I could DM you and DJ Envy in a group DM and DJ Envy replies, I'm gonna give you $1,000. Right? So I'm like, I said, yo, send me $200, $300 first so I know you for real. He sends me $300. I call Envy. I say, yo, Envy, just reply to this DM. Envy replies. He sends me $1,000. Then he's like, yo, can you set up an interview with DJ Envy or Angela or the Breakfast Club? I said, you can't just get on the Breakfast Club, but I can set you up individually. So I set him up an interview with Envy. He paid, I don't know how much he paid. I forgot how much he paid Envy. Then he asked me if he could do one with Angela Yee. So Angela set up. This dude paid me a shitload of money, and I brought him up to the Breakfast Club, and we did a fake Breakfast Club. It looked like it was the Breakfast Club. He was sitting in the Breakfast Club seat. It was Angela Yee, and it was him. And we did a fake Breakfast Club interview, and he paid a shitload of money. And like we told him he could do whatever you want with it, but we're not promoting it. And yo, that was like the only probably fake Breakfast Club interview ever.
That's hilarious.
My brother Killa Touch, man. He came. That's a monkey hustle. It took a little minute to get the traction going and whatnot, but that was a monkey hustle for real.
That dude used to give me so much money for but he was the worst. He was the worst artist I've ever dealt with in my life. He's the only time I've ever submitted a video to BET and they told me no.
Oh wow.
He was terrible, but he had a lot of money. I took every dollar.
I know DJ Envy, he got me. I remember we were somewhere in Vegas, whatever, some iHeart Music Festival or whatever. And I started a conversation with him and he just said, oh, take my number. I was like, oh, snap. I'll take his number down. Yo, every time I hit that, man, there's what is it? It's something like Blocks Entertainment or something like that. You know what that is?
That's probably his manager or something.
Man, it's on the numbers on his was on his Instagram. Like this ain't no exclusive stuff, but the fact that he hit me with that before I even said anything, like I didn't say, hey, can I get your number? He was like, oh man, you cool? Oh yeah, take my number down. Like, yo,
so Envy is Envy and June. June's his manager, and Envy's the good cop. June's the bad cop. You know, Envy don't want to be mean to nobody, so he'd be like, oh yeah, whatever. Talk to June, and then June's gonna handle what he gotta handle. June gonna handle that business. Yeah,
it just was funny because I didn't. You know, sometimes you do be like,
Envy probably just don't want to talk. Yo, yeah, here's my number, but it's really June number.
Hey,
June, yeah.
It worked, man. Monkey hustle, man. He got me. I didn't realize till like a week or two later that our guy got.
Envy my bro though.
No, I mean I love the show, man. It's it's funny how it evolved recently. You know, they got the BET deal and stuff.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why Angela Yee left. I don't think that was the best move on her part, but
I mean, they regardless, you know, I look at entertainment, I'm like, anything you've been doing for 5 years, I don't care what the result. I look at that like that's like working a regular job for 20 years. So you know, well,
that's what years. People ask me, you know, why you don't DJ for Kiss no more. I said I did that shit for 15 years. Like I couldn't do the shit forever. Like I had to move on.
That's solid, man. 15 years doing anything, you know, legendary is dope. But I said that to say the Breakfast Club, they've been on what, 13 years, maybe? So, you know, whether she blew up, became a big success or failed completely, man, you put 13 years, that's like, you know. But it is funny that it's getting like more successful right now.
Right. Right.
So Killa Touch, if you had a biopic, what would the movie be called?
I have no idea. And
that's a good title.
And you know, the crazy shit is, you know, so many people came up to me trying to get me to like write a book or write shit, but I got the worst memory in the world, and I can't remember shit. And I can't, like, I got so many stories, but I can't remember none of them shits to write no fucking book.
And don't get faded. But you know what?
I don't smoke and I don't drink. But I got the worst memory in the fucking world.
Hey, to be politically correct, that's a cool. Yeah, that's a That's something you could say, man, where you're not gonna get too much gripe behind it.
Who would play you?
I'm so out of tune with like the new actors and shit. So I don't even know. Like I'm so out of tune with that shit.
I give Joseph Sikora.
I don't even know what that is.
Tommy from Power.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow, you.
I don't even watch Power. I never watched Power. I never watched Power. I never watched BMF. I never watched none of that. Like I don't even be in tune. Like I'm so out of the loop. It's crazy.
It's a lot of time to invest in that.
Yeah, because I don't even like. That's another show. Like Netflix will just put out the whole season in one day. It's like what happened to fucking waiting until next Wednesday to watch the like. I feel like if you don't watch that shit right then, you fucked up, and now it's too hard to catch up.
And everybody gonna tell you anyway.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I'm gonna hit you with the last one, Killer Touch. This has been a cool one. You touring, doing your thing, being in Florida, seeing the party life in Florida, the whole little nine or whatever. I'm sure you were in Florida when COVID jumped off and everything. Where do you see social progression going in the next 2 years?
I think we at the most antisocial point of ever. Like people rather just be in their house on their phones or on Call of Duty. And it's like you don't even gotta go outside no more. Like to be honest with you, like what do I need to go to the club for? I could go if I need to meet a chick, I could go on my phone, I could go on Tinder, I could go like if I need to order food, I could go on DoorDash, I could go into virtual reality with all my friends, they got clubs on virtual reality. Like you don't gotta do nothing. People in the next couple of years, it's gonna be so rare you're gonna be outside. All the malls are closing. Everybody, you're ordering shit on Amazon. Like, what are you going outside for?
Yeah.
And when you do go outside, you gotta worry about a mass shooting. Last week there was not even last week, a couple of days ago, there was an active shooter in my building.
Wow.
Like going outside is dangerous. Not only is it dangerous to go outside, it's fucking expensive as hell to go outside.
Mm.
So being outside is gonna be a thing of the past.
Mm.
Oh wow. Man, I feel like you just told me that the CD was about to be irrelevant, man. You know?
If you thought that was bad shit, life is about to be, that's a whole different life.
About to be real. Well, nah, man. We got to a lot, but it was so much we didn't get to, man. Dang, we didn't get to. But nah, we need to talk more because I was kind of getting that into the interview and I totally missed it. But give me your socials and then shout out any of your artists.
Everything is at DJ Killa Touch, man. Everything is at DJ Killa Touch. The label is Society. The label is the label. The artist Taylor Ricard XO. And that's it, man.
Very talented cat. What's up with you, Jeremy? What you got coming up?
I'll be in New York at Yonkers Comedy Club May 5th and 6th. May 5th and 6th. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Were you about to say something, Killer Touch?
All my dates.
Were you about to say something, Killer Touch?
Yeah. Also, I got a clothing brand called Crispy Clothes, CRISP.
Okay.
Check that out. And the website is crispy-nyc.com.
Dope. I will say this though, man. Something Locks related. The song that DMX did with the Locks, man. Oh man, that song was ridiculous, man. That's it. Oh man, that song was so dope. I was forwarding the video to people. And so my homegirl who lives in Las Vegas with her husband. And I forwarded, and she's a super DMX fan. Like she hit me up. She's like, yo, Greg, how much do you think it would get would be for DMX to drop a verse and blah 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 blah. I'm like, oh man, I'm like, whatever you trying to drop, man. If you ain't got real bread, it's like, well, you know, maybe I could get it. And she's an executive, so she has access to bread. That's not it. But I'm like, nah, you really don't understand how this works. I'm like, it's not gonna be 10, it's not gonna be 20, it's not gonna be 30. You know,
it's crazy. It's crazy how the prices are so much higher now for artists, for shows, for verses. Like it's like how do they expect you to pay for this shit?
Hey like, man, they don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I'm thinking, I'm just like, yo. So when I was on the road with Jadakiss and Y was like the hottest record in the world, he's probably getting at that time 35, 45,000. Now 35,000, that's a joke now. I'm like, these artists come out with one song, they're getting 150,000 a show. Like, how are you paying these artists?
Hey man, especially when you got dudes like Fat Joe that are coining a phrase, man. Talking about your homeboy Jadakiss. Today's prices are not yesterday's prices.
That's factual.
Yo, the other day, I called Ashanti to ask her how much she's getting for a show. She's getting $125,000 for a show. Like, that's that's astronomical. Like, 125,000, and she hasn't had a song out in 20 years.
Hey man, I'll make you hop on a plane carrying some Serato and a backpack and getting back out there.
It's crazy, man.
To do your thizzle. Well, no, man, good looking Killer touch, man. It was cool to have you, Jeremy, back off in the double dutch. That was tight. Yeah, man, I feel a whole lot better, man. Got to chop it up with my partner. You know what I'm saying? And Jeremy. So with that being said, this has been another episode of Splendid Radio.